Woo-wee. Good morning, market snipers. Welcome back. This is Jesse. We're getting started right at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right on the dot as usual. We're going to get rocking and rolling. On the first half of the live stream, we will cover Bitcoin, altcoins, stocks, anything that jump out us on the watch list. And the second half of the live stream, we will cover your chart requests. So make sure to put in the ticker symbol. Make sure to put in the asset name. Is it crypto? Is it stock? Whatever it is, indices, ETFs, all of that. That helps me search for it quickly and keep the live streaming. If you're new to the live stream, awesome. Welcome. And if you're returning the live stream, even better. Good to see you back on here. And with that, we're going to jump right into it. We're not going to spend too much time. No rants or rambles today, to my knowledge, on Thirsty Thursday here. But Bitcoin and NASDAQ and SP 500 are all selling off. So we're going to get into it. Of course, this is the NASDAQ 1 hour chart. And, if you look at the daily chart and stuff like that, it's continuing to it's continuing to go through a topping pattern and looks like it wants to sell off for longer term, right? So not just this shorter term 1 hour chart, but we'll get into it. We'll cover it, but let's circle back to Bitcoin first, and then we'll circle back to the NASDAQ and all that stuff. So daily chart, everyone was, price dropped. Everyone was pumped up that we got all the way back to $70,000, and now it's starting to sell off again, right? So, but let's jump on to the daily chart. Let's get off this 1 hour chart for now and kind of look at the overall picture and a quick recap. We don't want to spend too much time on it, but just especially if you're new, the reason why we like to do the recaps. A, let's get into the flow of the chart and what we've seen and what we've been calling out. And B, you can check the receipts, right? You can check the receipts and know that we've been calling it all the way down. All the way down. So we're not just showing you charts. We're not just the hindsight crew. We are the foresight crew. We're calling it out in real time and calling it out as we see it. Right or wrong, we'll never be 100% accurate, but we do our best and we do a lot of speculating. So obviously none of this is financial advice and educational purposes only, and hopefully have a little bit of entertainment along the way, whether that's making fun of me or not. I've gone on the live stream. I think the longest ever was, here we go with the ramble, 20 minutes with no mic on. That was a long time ago, but it's still funny. You just got to laugh at yourself sometimes. And I looked at the comments and I saw like 300 comments. I'm like, that's not typical. And I was on a good rant, a good ramble. I was in such a perfect flow that I didn't even realize that the mic wasn't on for 20 minutes. It's only happened once, but still it was an epic, had 300 comments. Actually probably helped. But with that, real quick, MO, I don't know what the name is. Hello. Prepper BR, let's go. We got a prepper in the house. Look out. Mighty Kirk, Marcus Sniper in the house. Good morning. How are the recorded coaching videos going? Are you still going on those? Probably take 3 months to get through all those 70 plus hours over there. Sue Wanamaker, what's up? Hello. Sweet Canary 3006. Hello. So good morning. Nunal Sapa. Hello. Good morning. So with that, the daily chart is. Don't worry about the trading bot over there. Yep. Good morning, DJR7859. What's up? Long time. So yeah, quick recap without the boring recap is on October 8th when Bitcoin was at 123,700. We weren't calling for $250,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2025. In fact, what we did was we put out a Wyckoff distribution chart, and that we could see price go below $80,000. In hindsight, price went to 80,400. Then we saw a relief rally, right? Went to 80,500-ish, depending on what exchange you're looking at. And then we got the relief rally. So it didn't quite go below 80,000 on the Wyckoff distribution, but very, 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 very close. On October 10th, when we had the sell signal and candle closed below the trading dots, we put out the weekly chart that was the bear market roadmap with all the longer term targets. And the main thesis was, I'm going to check the mic, make sure we're good. That price would come down and retest the 200-week SMA. That's what I always have on the chart, whether it's Bitcoin or it's any other asset that has at least enough history for a 200-week moving average, like the NASDAQ and stuff like that. So that was our main thesis. That was our main thesis from up here back in October, on October 10th when I posted that chart. And in hindsight, that thesis is correct. We've got within, well, price has gotten within 2 or 3% of that so far. So, and we did not go make a new all-time high. We did not hit $250,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year, which I said was, it's always possible, but I was saying it's not probable. And here's why. Bitcoin has pumped $1 trillion, has increased the market cap $1 trillion in like a 3.5 month period. 4 times, I believe. Maybe 5 times. 4 or 5 times, I believe, in the history of Bitcoin. $250,000 Bitcoin would have increased $2 trillion market cap in less than 3 months. So it never happened before. And the last time Bitcoin had a blow off top, it was 2017. There hasn't been a blow off top since 2017. And it only took $250 billion market cap increase to have a blow off top. So the probabilities are that we were not going to see a blow off top. It takes a lot of market cap increase to make that happen. So was it possible? Yeah, it was possible, but all the higher time frames were yelling at us saying, we're looking at a longer term reversal. Not because I have a magic crystal ball, but because price was overextended from the 200-week SMA. That's one. 2, which even more important to me, is that there was bearish divergence on the daily chart, the weekly chart, 2-week chart, 3-week chart, and monthly chart. There was longer term bearish divergence, not only on RSI, but also MACD. So when there's longer term bearish divergence, price usually catches up. When there's longer term or even shorter term bullish divergence, price usually catches up. So if you want to know more about divergence, our second recorded coaching video has all the divergence on there, and not just divergence like you know it, but one of the things I'm most proud of still in my trading career is that on RSI, you can't read this in a book anywhere. And to my knowledge, I discovered this more than 5 years ago, and it still holds true to today, that there's actually price targets on divergence. So I talk about that in the recorded coaching video. So if you want to know what I know that you cannot read in a book, you'd have to sign up. So with that, London, UK, not so sexy news, aka Lawrence. What's up, my man? Thanks for always reposting the live stream on YouTube and X. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for all of your support. So then over here, we were talking about just finish up the recap in our thought process and get back in the flow. Price was dropping. Price was getting oversold. And we talked about expect bounces along the way. Expect a relief rally at some point. And over here, we hit the exact same 2 retracement targets on the relief rally as we did in 2022. I was there for it March and April of 2022. We were here for it again in March, April 2022. It was a 63-day, and it was like a 40% relief rally, but hit the exact same 2 market sniper targets. And this took 54 days from wick to wick, and is just a little over almost 22% relief rally, but hit the exact same 2 retracement targets. Over here, we were talking about, this is probably the last time you could sell your Bitcoin at $110,000. In hindsight, that's true. Maybe 2 years, right? Maybe longer. We don't know. We don't have a magic crystal ball, like I said. Sometimes it feels like we do, but we don't. We speculate a lot, and we're not going to always be accurate. Over here, we're talking about the sell signal, breaking down 81,000. We were showing that there was billions of long liquidations and that we could see a long squeeze. Everyone talks about short squeezes, but we could see a long squeeze down to $66,000 very quickly. And then it happened. So there are still hundreds of millions of long liquidations all the way down to like 55,000, 52,000, 56,000, all the way down the 200-week SMA at 58,372 as of right now. It was looking like we could have seen a candle close back above the trending dots. Price was pushed back down on the close. So the candle closes are more important than the actual wicks, in my opinion. Jason, what's up, Jason? Welcome back. Good morning. OSS _Shibunachi. Well, that's a cool name. Shibunachi. Short BTC or 20x. Okay. Yeah, right. I don't give financial advice. 2, everyone wants to short after a 52% correction. And I'm not just saying you I don't know anything about you, but maybe you shorted at the top too. But it's, everyone wants to short after a 52% correction. Everyone wants to buy at $120,000 Bitcoin because it's going to 250,000, right? So, as time goes on, I will become less and less confident to short Bitcoin, right? Really confident over here. Really confident. Really confident. Really confident over here. As time goes on, yes, you could possibly short and nail it all the way down, a bigger drop. But as time goes on, I will become less and less confident to short Bitcoin. Oh, yeah, I guess if you're on 20X, you're just looking for a scalp or something. Back and forth, 65, yeah. FICO's 83. Hello, welcome back. Good to see you back on here. So that's that. We have a lot more to cover. We're going to cover the weekly chart, 2-week chart, 3-week chart, monthly chart. Then we'll cover some of the altcoins. They're still bleeding out. They're still bearish longer term, so there's not much to cover on them. And then, of course, we'll take a look at the indices, anything else that jumps out at us on the watch list. And then we'll circle back and do your chart requests after that. So stick around for that. But first, we don't have any paid affiliates. We've never taken $1 of affiliate money in our career. So we have to do a quick plug over here. You can follow us, Market Sniper Pro or Jesse Olson. And then, of course, you can find the website on both profiles. Takes you over here, Market Sniper Pro. This is all we have. This is the only offering we have, even though we use TradingView as a bridge still, and we still use Discord as a bridge. We have our own online community. You can find it all here. We don't want to spend too much time on it. Features, a lot to cover. We have our own charting system, screeners, all that, dashboard, setups, bot, recorded coaching, 70+ hours. Our own online community, but we're still using Discord as a bridge as well. So our own charting system, you can see I have gap detection on. It automatically draws the gaps And if it's a little bit bigger gap or not a micro gap, it'll have the percentage on there, whether it's the daily chart or the weekly chart. This is the QQQ. We have our sniper indicators on there. You can filter it from sniper only. These are our own algorithms that we built on PineScript with TradingView originally, and then we had them converted to Python over here. But then we've got other ones as well, like the gap detection, auto trend lines. I did not draw these trend lines, and they show up on Sniper RSI as well, and all of that. So you can go check it out. Screener is awesome. Find the breakout before it happens, add the filter, RSI divergence, and immediately narrowed it down from over 4,000 stocks, crypto ETFs. And then, of course, you could add MACD divergence, right? Or you could do, let's see, take that off. MACD divergence, and it changes it, right? So interesting stuff. And it automatically pulls up the gaps and trend lines like that. So with that, that's all we have for offerings. We don't have any affiliate or paid sponsors or anything like that. So with that, that's the daily chart. Let's see, where are we at? Let's see. Nailed both of those retracement targets. Still got this target. We were talking about possibly by the end of February. Obviously, like I said, we don't have a magic crystal ball. So by the end of February, it's not going to happen, most likely. We only have a couple more days. But whether it's the end of February, beginning of March, second week of March, whatever it is, the timing doesn't really matter as much to me. So there you go. First cycle or no alt season already below last. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is in the last bear market of 2021, 2022, I talked about this a lot. I said there's never a guarantee that your altcoin is going to survive. There's never a guarantee that it's going to make a new all-time high. And some of the ones that we were watching, like XRP, we did play that in November. It was only a 3.5 week mini alt season on some altcoins, not all of them. But I was even able to flip my mom's crypto account in 3.5 weeks, 350%. So it was spot only. It wasn't even with leverage because it's my mom's account, So flipping it from when we went small too, it was just play money. She's retired, so I'm not trying to manage her money or anything like that. I don't want that kind of stress, right? She's retired. I don't want to deal with all that. But we flipped a $3,500 to like 12,500 ish, right? In like 3.5 weeks. So it was a good time. That was November 2024. I mean, we hoped for a real alt season, to be honest. Like I hoped for it. I wanted a real alt season. That would have, if we had a alt season where we saw like 1,000%, I would have made my mom so much more money. And so but that's not what the market gave us. So unfortunately, you just take what the market gives you. So, and see what the charts are telling you as they are with the neutral lens. But to do that, you'd have to be able to block out the noise. You have to be able to, whatever your game is, right? Whether you're swing trading the daily chart, you're a longer term investor with the weekly chart or the monthly chart, whatever it is, or you're a day trader or you're a scalper or you're on-chain analytics for investing purposes, whatever the case may be, or you're all about the leverage liquidations, whatever it is, if you stay hyper focused on that versus letting all the noise get to you, the narratives, the Jane Street didn't cause, and this is my own personal opinion, Jane Street didn't cause XYZ. the market bosses push price down, and that causes Jane Street for this to happen. Same thing in 2022. The charts started with bearish divergence first in November 2021. Charts start to break down. June 2022, we start hearing about the Celsius, the FTX, the 3 arrows. This time around is Jane Street, right? So it starts with bearish divergence. The bigger players are already making a move. The relative strength is decreasing, and then price catches up, and then you find out, as Buffett always said, was when you find out who's swimming naked, right? So Jane Street must have been, I don't know. I haven't even really, to be honest, like I keep seeing Jane Street, but I still haven't even looked up exactly what they're talking about that they did or did not do. Like I'm so hyper focused on the charts that, yeah, I hear it. I'm aware of what's going on out there, but I just stay so focused on the charts. I don't want it to sway me too bearish or too bullish in either direction. I want to see the charts as they are. So with that, let's jump over the weekly chart and we'll go over to the Bitcoin bear market roadmap. I was promised that the bottom was in over here. I was promised that the bottom was in over here in November. I was promised that the bottom was in over here in early February. And then I was promised that the bottom was in again just yesterday. The reality is this is where we're at, and there's a lot of similarities to 2022, right? The big initial move down, the relief rally close to the trailing dots on the weekly chart, and then the next big push down. So the blue fractal is 2022, and you can see that the big push down, the relief rally back into the trailing dots, and then pushes back down and retested the 200-week SMA, and then hit target 4, and then eventually there was a slow grinding bleed in the rest of 2022, creating bullish divergence, and we hope for that again. That's what we hope for. We hope to see the bullish divergence. We hope to see the ship get turned around with positive momentum on the higher time frames, and we will be positioned to buy the right dip. That's the purpose of all this, is to buy the right dip. That's the whole purpose, right? So if we can buy the right dip, not for the first time, but again, the last buy the right dip, the last time we were covering the bear market, the last time we did this in real time without a 2022 fractal, we bought January 4th, 2023 with 5x leverage at 16,800. How do we do? How do we keep doing, right? Sweet Canary, can you please make the chart look bigger? It's rather small. Thanks. Are you on a cell phone? If you're on the cell phone, there's 2 live streams on YouTube. One for your computer and one for the cell phone. So looks like you're on the cell phone. I can see it on my thing. So you're probably on the wrong stream. So there's a reason why there's a vertical. Yeah, that's why. Oh, but it says that you're on. Oh, that's why. So you're on the computer, but your comment is showing that you're on the wrong live stream. You're actually on the cell phone live stream. So you're on your own computer on the cell phone live stream. So you're on the wrong live stream. There's 2 of them. It gets confusing, but I thought it would help people, but maybe it doesn't. So yeah, if you got off the live stream, if you got off the cell phone live stream and you went on the, oh, yep. Cool. Hopefully that helps. That's going to change everything. That's going to change everything. So I think it's at least 50% are on cell phone devices, so I thought it would help people by doing the vertical, and it doesn't do anything extra on my side of things. So, so with that, let's keep going. Yeah, yeah. Now I can see on your comment, there's not a cell phone next to your name on my side. You can't see it, but I can see it. Okay, I can see perfectly well. Thanks. Yep, you got it. You got it. I'm glad that helped. So in case there's anyone else going with the same thing, so there's 2 live streams on YouTube. This is a weekly chart. It's still ultra bearish on the weekly chart. And if it hits the exact same 5th target as it did in 2022, price will come down here. If the Bitcoin ETFs like HODL hit the January 2024 all-time low, Bitcoin will be below $40,000, and it would be just slightly under $39,000. It's a strong possibility. I think it's a strong possibility that Bitcoin ETF HODL, as an example, retests the 2024 all-time lows. And if that happens, I would assume Bitcoin would be at a similar January 2024 level, and price would be around 39,000. Will it? We don't know. I don't know. But that's just kind of the way I'm looking at it and speculating. And it lines up with Target 5 and several other reasons why, right? Several other reasons why. In the past, Bitcoin has gone at least 30% below the 200-week SMA. That would be 33.5% if it went down to that area. So we'll see if it happens or not. We don't know for sure, but we'll keep speculating. Quick on the 2-week chart. Let's go to the 2-week chart. We were doing a lot of speculating and doodling, just showing that, we got the red trending dots over here on the 2-week chart. It's going to take time, right? It's going to take time. And if we were to play out similarly, right, that's how long it would take to get back to $100,000. That would be, say, January 2028. That's 2 years. So when I was talking about back in October, that'd be more than 2 years to potentially get back to $110,000. So when I was saying this is probably the last time you could sell your Bitcoin at $110,000 for a very long time, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. A very long time to me as a swing trader is at least 2 years, right? So at least 2 years. That's the speculating that we do. We speculated it back here. We called this the opportunity zone back in 2022. This is the opportunity zone. The opportunity zone is below the 200-week SMA. Historically, that's been a good time to buy Bitcoin. But there's a but. The reason why I didn't dollar cost average below is, what if in 2022 there was a .com bubble or a 2008 like crash? Then we would have expected Bitcoin to go even lower. So I was waiting to buy the right dip, bullish divergence, the whole deal, right? There was not a .com or a 2008 like crash. So we're prepared for it, but we're not saying that there's automatically going to be, right? So we're waiting, and we still got the bottom minus 5 to 8%. Still, I'm not worried about buying the right dip. I'm very confident in buying the right dip. It's going to take time for the ship to get turned around. First, we'll most likely see bullish divergence on lower time frames. Then the weekly charts, and possibly the higher time frames as well. Just like we saw bearish divergence. So unfolding in real time. So that's 2-week chart. The trailing dots are here. I'm pointing out where the trailing dots were here. 3-week chart, same thing. Pointing out the trailing dots. It's going to take time for momentum to turn back around. So we said that was the case in 2022. we're saying it's the case again. And of course, the one but is if there is a dot-com bubble like crash or a 2008 like crash, then we could see a much deeper, longer bear market on Bitcoin. So that's the one, you know, and there's some things that are showing that this time is different that you have to pay attention to. So, which is, but real quick, HODL, you can see the all-time low over here on January 2024. So if HODL comes all the way back down for a retest, seems logical to me. Seems logical. And if it does, then Bitcoin would be below $40,000, right? Could it go lower? Yes, it could. Yes, it could. And here's why. This time is different on Bitcoin versus gold. In the history of Bitcoin versus gold, we've never seen a downward sloping 200-week SMA. Never. This is the first time in Bitcoin history that we've never seen a downwards. It's been up only. It's been up only, right? So that's one reason why this time could be different to the downside and why I'm not dollar cost averaging below the 200-week SMA, which we haven't got below yet. But this is why I don't try to dollar cost average in a bear market. This is why I don't like to guess. I'd rather wait for a higher probability of a reversal. That's why I don't want to catch falling knives. Because what if you just, I can't dodge a wrench. What makes me think I could catch a falling knife, right? If you know the reference, cool. If you don't, then look, you're going to have to look it up. What is Jesse talking about? So that's not a positive. That's bearish. A downward sloping 200-week moving average is not positive. That's bearish. And I've got two more examples of why. In the first time in Bitcoin's history against gold, calm down, trading bot. Calm down. In the first time in history, Bitcoin versus gold, monthly RSI is at 34.61. To the lowest ever. Broke this 11-year downward trend line. Broke it. I mean, it spiked below it a couple times, but multiple weeks below it at this deep of a level, first time ever. And I always remove this trend line just because it just gets the chart so cluttered. But not multiple, but could be a close below it. Looks like it's going to be a close below it. A 7-year downward trend line. From this bottom to this bottom was 48 months. From this bottom to this bottom, 47 months. From this bottom to this bottom could be 46 months. We don't know. It's possible. But while that's happening, we could see much deeper corrections with RSI being this low. Just because RSI is this low doesn't mean that that's bullish. In fact, it means the opposite. It means it's bearish and could remain more bearish, and price could catch up. And so that's where we're at. And then we have one more example. We're just going to skip and come back, right? So just real quick, since we're on the Bitcoin, right? First time in UNH history since, so not first time in history, but first time we've seen a downward sloping 200-week SMA on UNH, United Health Group, which is a big market cap, I believe. I think it was in the trillions, I believe. 260 billion, but it's down 54%. So maybe it wasn't quite $1 trillion. Maybe it was more than $500 million, but downward sloping 200-week moving average for the first time. Look at that massive bull run since drum roll, 2008. So 2008. So is this time different? Could it be that we're going to be entering a 2008-like correction? It's possible. It's possible. Why? Because there's other major stocks that starting to have a negative sloping 200-week moving average. So those are all reasons to consider, right? Now, going back to keep talking about the same thing is that if you look at Ethereum, we've entered downward sloping 200-week moving average on Ethereum. And actually, the monthly chart put it in a lower high. Spiked higher on the wick, but the monthly close was actually lower. So all things to consider. All things to consider. XRP came back to the 200-week moving average. XRP is one of the few altcoins that actually did make a new all-time high. And then we talked about price coming back to the 200-week moving average. In the hindsight, that's been accurate. Chainlink, downward sloping 200. Cardano, downward sloping 200. That's not bullish. That's not bullish. It's been in a bear market since 2021. Algo, downward sloping. H-bar, downward sloping. XLM, near, started to be downward sloping over here, right? Bear market since January 2022. MicroStrategy, not back below, but still below the 200-week SMA, right? Look at all the negative earnings. Woo! Daily chart. Let's see, weekly chart. And then weekly chart with all the drawings. We've been talking about this forever. We were talking about when the top was in with the bearish engulfing candle on the daily chart. We talked about the Adam and Eve double top pattern, then bearish engulfing candle, the weekly chart. We covered it all. Start getting candle close below over here, and then the probabilities increase that we're going to see price hit the 200-week SMA. Now we are below the SMA, right? 2021, 2022, 2023, blue fractal. is playing out very similar. Over here, we were talking about MSTR being the canary in the coal mine. Not only in the bear market, but also when price was pumping up back in September 2024, I posted a chart with MicroStrategy and Bitcoin. And I said, MicroStrategy is already making a new all-time high. Did it lead the way for Bitcoin? And Bitcoin was at $65,000. So it led the way for Bitcoin to the upside. It led the way in the bear market. And I pointed out that it led the way back in 2021 as well. Because the top was in February 2021. And then Bitcoin's top wasn't in until November 2021. Deja vu. I talked about it again. October, Bitcoin made a new all-time high. And MicroStrategy started dumping hard. Bearish engulfing candle. I said, for all those experts out there calling for Bitcoin to hit $250,000 by the end of the year, while the canary in the coal mine, MicroStrategy, is in a bear market and is about to crash, that's cute. That's cute, right? That's so cute. Yeah, I'm competitive. If you didn't know, I'm competitive. So I genuinely care about people and I want people to do well, but sometimes I get a little competitive. Don't mind me. Quick glance at gold, still bullish on the higher time frames. It's still currently buy the dip season until proven otherwise. Not much has changed since yesterday. The dollar is bullish on the daily chart. We've been covering this since the drop, bounce. However, the price action plays out, we'll be looking for a possible bigger move here. Maybe it consolidates further, and then maybe there's even a bigger breakout to the upside. Maybe if it's really bullish, maybe a retest of the 200-week SMA is all a possibility. But bullish engulfing candle right now on the dollar. VIX is still at elevated of around 20 for the VIX. So the daily chart, weekly chart, monthly chart, right? So it's all elevated right now. What else? What else? Okay, let's go over the Magnificent Seven. Couple bounces, but overall, TQQ dropped, fake out. Looks like it's short the bounce season, right? Short the bounce season. And it's been battling. It's been really choppy and really battling. But eventually, the bulls give up. It's hard to kill a bull, but the bulls give up and gaps are filled, and the 200-week SMA gets retested eventually, right? And if you go over here, get the TQQ, you've got the gaps. You've got the gaps. So a lot of gaps. TQQ. So you can see that we had built that indicator originally on TradingView, and we still have it on TradingView. It's still available. All the indicators, everything is available on TradingView. We're still using it for several things as a bridge because I still think TradingView is awesome. And I've never made $1 off of them, but I still use them daily. So, but we've recreated everything on our own charting system as well. And a lot of good things over there that I love. So, looks like short the bounce season. NVIDIA could be a lower high possibility. Breaking back down. Tesla. A lot of reasons why price come back down in this area. Gaps. 200-week moving average 270. Gold. Gold. Google. Gold. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Jesse. Amazon. Just seems like it wants to come back down and retest it. What's the weekly chart looking at like? Weekly chart is bearish. So seems like short the bounce season is here. NASDAQ futures. These targets are still valid since the all-time high on October 30th, 2025. But what a battle it's been. And you could even say this is a double top. Didn't take out this wick, so the targets are still valid. But double top, bearish divergence, lower high. Looks like a lower high. Could be a bearish engulfing candle. And the targets were set. Here we go. And we'll see if the price is going to come all the way back down the 200-week SMA as well. Similar to Bitcoin, similar to MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy was the canary in the coal mine for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the canary in the coal mine for SP 500 and the NASDAQ, just like it was in 2021, 2022. But we'll see how it plays out. What else? SP 500. Similar thoughts. Similar. PLTR, Dow Jones, similar thoughts. PLTR, already hit that one. Microsoft flat today. All 4 targets were hit. Massive gap was filled. Meta, still bearish. Dollar, like we already covered. UNH, just what a big drop that was. And I think that's about it, right? Yesterday, there was a pending buy signal on Netflix, and we did a lot of speculating. A lot of speculating. Possible bearish divergence in the future, possible lower high, come all the way back down, hit the 200-week SMA after a relief rally. So we'll see. Bear market, relief rally happening right now. It'd be crazy to see this fractal play out in real time. What fractal was it yesterday that we found for it? Was it PLT? Was it, oops. Was it PLTR? No, I don't think it was. But with that, let's circle back and do our chart requests. I think we covered everything that we want to cover that's jumping out at us. This is Bitcoin breaking back down. And of course, that makes sense while the markets are breaking down as well. So let's throw in a little bit of music. Grab some water. Do those chart requests. Let's see. Comments. Seems like it was rejected. Seems like that was probably it, but who knows? It's bearish on the 1 hour chart, daily chart, weekly chart, 2-week chart, and we're expecting bounces to get sold off. So that's about it. Okay. Yeah, I actually don't see any chart requests. This might be the first time. Okay. I guess I covered all the ones that mattered. see. Oh, a couple more. Let's see. Really looking for weakness in VTI. What is that? What is VTI? Is it crypto? Is it stock? Let me know all the details so I can search for it quickly, and then we'll get through it. Oh, we got a couple of late requests now. Usually I don't do the requests if they come in so late, but since we didn't have any chart requests, I guess we'll take the late ones. Virtual crypto on Binance. Thank you for putting in all of the details, Denny. I appreciate that. That helps out a lot. Other people have asked for it, but maybe oh, there it is. Virtual. Well, this is MEXC, but I'm sure it's fine, right? I'm sure it's fine. It's still bullish on the daily chart, but we know that if the higher time frames are bearish still, expect any bounce to get sold off until proven otherwise, right? So you do have the weekly trending dots at 84.5 cents. But just know that the higher time frames are bearish. So it'd be a counter trade, right? So you got the trading dots at $1 on the 2-week chart, monthly chart, $1.19. But I'm expecting any bounces to get sold off. So whether that means that was it and it dumps down, or it comes up like this, retest some of those trading dots, and then comes back down. So when the higher time frames are bearish, then I just, the overall trend is bearish, and you just have to I just have to expect that any bounce that happens would be sold off. So hopefully that helps. Robbie, what's up? What's up? What's up? If you have a minute, how bad does XAN Coinbase? I think you've asked for this one in the past, right? Maybe I deleted it, but yeah, crypto, Coinbase. Thanks for putting in all the details. That way I can search for it quickly and look at the chart that you're looking at. I mean, it looks bad. It just continues to bleed. Oops. Continues to make new all-time lows. Right? So pump and dump. Is that the right one? XAN USD Coinbase? Pretty sure. Well, you're just trying to catch a falling knife. Like that would never be my strategy. Ever. Ever. I don't care how much I love the project. I would never just blindly buy. You had bullish divergence, but now you're getting it sold off. And so bullish divergence and then quickly sold off. Bullish divergence, quickly sold off. And price just continues to go lower and lower and lower and lower. So I'm not into catching falling knives. Maybe you are, but the daily chart has been bearish since day one. Weekly chart, this has been down only. Down only. 1 hour chart, right? I don't know what time frame you're looking at. 1 hour chart is bearish, right? All bounces are getting sold off. So no, thank you. Okay, thank you. VTI Vanguard Total Stock Market. There you go. So ETF. Let's get off the 1 hour chart. Yeah, I mean it looks exactly like SP 500 and the NASDAQ. It looks more like the SP 500 than the NASDAQ, but it looks almost identical. The chart looks almost identical. So there's not much really else to talk about since we've already talked about the SP 500, the Magnificent Sevens, the NASDAQs, whatever we already covered. It looks identical. So good to go. What do you think of the bullish divergence on BTC? It looked like it was already sold off. So that's the thing where people get divergence wrong, or they get divergence, or they get frustrated with divergence. There's two, well, there's more than two ways, but there's multiple ways to look at divergence. One, it could just be a short term spike up and the divergence gets cleared, bullish or bearish, or spike down. So if there's bullish divergence, and I talk about this recorded coaching for more than hours if you want to take a deep dive. So I'm not going to do that here. It's not for the live streams aren't for deep dives, but it could be a spike, a quick spike, or it could be a trend reversal, right? So the higher probability that it's a full trend reversal is a higher low on bullish divergence. And the higher probability of a full trend reversal is a lower high on bearish divergence. So, and then of course, the divergence could be cleared in a shorter term, not put in that higher low, and price continues to dump down and or creates additional divergence. So those are all things to consider. And it sounds complicated, but really after you just, I talk about it for over an hour and you study and you look at it and you look at it and you look at it, it's pretty simple actually. So I think that's about it. I think I covered everything. So that's where we're still at on Bitcoin. Daily chart, still bearish. So with that, I hope you have a good rest of your day. We will continue to sniper the markets together every single day that we can, that the stock market is open. And with that, we will see you on tomorrow's live stream. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you for smashing the like, reposting the live streams, all of that to help me, help you, help me with the algorithms. I appreciate all that and hope you have a good rest of your day or your evening. And we'll see you on the next live stream. Adios.